Hey guys, Sam here, and welcome to the Premier League, guys. Yes, we did it. After a fantastic first season with Leeds United, we are here in the Premier League, in the big time, trying to take on some of the biggest clubs in England, but also in the world. What an opportunity this is to test out our squad. Now, the squad has changed a little bit. Of course, taking a look at it there, we have lost some pretty key players, the likes of Pierre-Michel Lasogga. Woodburn is gone on the left-hand side, I guess. And also Pablo Hernandez left to Swansea. So there is things that we need to do to this team. Now, before we actually get into today's episode, there's a massive question I need you guys to answer. I mean, this really is going to kind of change how this series goes. As you can see in our transfer budget, we have £8 million for making it to the Premier League. £8 million. It's nothing. I couldn't even. I mean, I could make it work, really, if we're being serious. But like, that's not even enough money for the Championship, let alone for the Premier League. I mean, we came first in the Championship. We've just been promoted to the Premier League. In real life, a recently promoted team would get more than this money. So in the top right corner, I don't really want to ask you guys, but I'm gonna have to. There's a poll. Should we use a financial takeover to get more money into the club? Now, if you're scared that this financial takeover is going to make this series unrealistic, keep in mind the players I bring in are going to be very realistic targets. I'm not going to start bringing in these amazing players, just pumping money into them and giving us the best players in the game. That's not how it's going to work. I'm not even going to try and sign like massively good players. I'm going to keep it realistic. I'm going to go for smaller club players that I think could work in our team. I'm still going to keep this as realistic as possible, but with a larger transfer budget, because realistically, we should have a larger transfer budget. So I'm leaving it up to you guys. The ball is in your court. But just to reassure you guys, let me show you some of the players that I have on the transfer shortlist to give you guys an idea of what kind of players I want to bring in. Now, I'm not exactly going to go for every one of these players, but I'm giving you guys a little idea of what I'm trying to go for. Now, these are the guys that we scouted when we were in the Championship. So the likes of Phil Foden from Manchester City's youth team, and I guess now in their senior team as well, Dujon Sterling. People like this we scouted last season. Of course, Ben Woodburn, Lasogga, Pennington, they all went out on loan. And then I thought to myself, well, Burnley got relegated, so realistically, we could start poaching some of Burnley's talent. I mean, these players shouldn't be playing in the Championship. These players should be playing in the Premier League. And what better teams to poach from than teams that have just gone down? So that was kind of a mindset. So in terms of Burnley, Chris Wood, I don't know if people would actually want Chris Wood back at Leeds United, considering that he left them. And what a snake he would be for leaving Leeds to go to Burnley, and as soon as Burnley get relegated, he comes back to Leeds, who got promoted. So I don't know if you guys actually want Chris Wood, but I'm just scouting the good players from these teams, sort of thing. We've got Brady, we've got Twanzebe, former United player. He's at Burnley. I guess they signed him last season, so that's another option. And then I thought to myself, well, Crystal Palace got relegated, and they have some fantastic talent. So I got the likes of Benteke here. Don't exactly have to go for Benteke, but would Benteke really play in the Championship? I don't think so. We've got the likes of Zaha, Loftus-Cheek, Riedewald, Schlupp, Sacco, Van Aanholt, Suarez. You know, so we've got players that would fit our team and players that would be realistic, because if Crystal Palace looks like they're going to get relegated, I don't think they're keeping that many of their good players if they get relegated. So I'm trying to keep this on a realistic level. So I've gone for positions that we need: centre-backs, left-backs, I've scouted, a striker, Chris Wood, Benteke, a couple of wide players to to fill out, like Pablo Hernandez, a spot who's gone. Loftus-Cheek could maybe do a job in midfield. You know what I mean? So I've tried to keep this as realistic as possible, and this is just to reassure you guys, if you're gonna if you're gonna vote yes for the financial takeover, that I am going to keep this realistic. The goal of this Leeds United Career Mode is to not win the Premier League in 2 or 3 seasons. It's to really build this team properly and really act as if we're going through what Leeds United would go through in real life should they go and get into the Premier League. At the same time, guys, though, I understand if you guys don't want the financial takeover. You can have the freedom to vote no. It's whatever you guys want to do. I'll do it. Whatever the majority wins, wins. And I can probably still make this team work with £8 million. And the first thing I'm going to do is bring back Ben Woodburn. Now, Ben Woodburn was actually the most popular vote in last episode to actually bring him back. Over 90% of you wanted Ben Woodburn back. So we're going to bring him back. He was great when he played. I can't even deny. He was such a good player when he played. his value is about 1.6, so I'm not going to go too much over that. I'm actually going to start with 1.5 and see what Jurgen says. Okay, so they've come back with 1.7. Klopp, I don't want to get Klopp angry. I don't want Klopp storming out of the transfer room, so I'm just going to accept 1.7 million. And I think it's a decent bit of business. I think Ben Woodburn is worth 1.7. Without an extra add-on sell-on fees, I think it's great, and we'll bring him back to the club. But if we're going to keep this 8 million, there goes like a quarter of our money right there. Okay, so Ben Woodburn wants a rotational role, which I think is perfect, considering Pablo Hernandez is now gone. We have one less attacking player. Now, if we do get that financial takeover and get a couple more players, he might not actually be rotational. He might be more of a sporadic, but I don't think he'll be too upset with the amount of games I'm going to give him, because I do like Ben Woodburn. I like playing with him in game, so I think he's actually going to be okay with the role that we give him. Now, Ben Woodburn is only 18, so realistically, I'd like to get him on as long of a contract as possible, and I'm hoping that he wants to get onto a long-term contract. And yes, he does. That's great. 5-year contract, keep him until he's 23. Hopefully by then he's a beast and we can just keep extending his contract and really build him up as one of our own. Okay, so they come back with a 22k wage, but he wants a signing on bonus of 300 grand. And after he scores 10 goals, he wants an extra 310 grand. So that signing on bonus is a little bit of a kick in the gut. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. That is quite a hefty signing on bonus. So I'm gonna try and maybe play around with that a little bit and see if we can find a bit of middle ground. Okay, so that kind of worked out a little bit better. I bumped up his wages to 30,000, but I dropped his signing on bonus by 200,000. So over the course of the year, I think we're saving money if I've done my maths correct. The way I worked it out was that he wanted 23k with 300,000 signing on bonus. So by adding 7k throughout the year, we're paying him another 80 something grand on top, but we're taking off 200,000 from his signing on bonus. So all up throughout the year, yeah, I think I've done my math correct. I think we are saving money. It's just with a higher weekly wage and less money right now. And also, I bumped up his goals to 15 goals to get an extra 150,000. So all up, I think we actually saved a lot of money with Ben Woodburn, which is great, especially if we're not getting the financial takeover, which I don't know if we are or not. Alrighty guys, there is Ben Woodburn holding his number 17 once again. I don't know if I should give him a different number. He was wearing 17 for us last season on loan. I thought, why not? He was good in the 17. We have a couple numbers that have opened up, but I think 17 just suits Woodburn. I don't know, I could be wrong. If you guys want to give him a different number, let me know in the comments below. But actually guys, for today's episode, there's a few reasons why I'm going to cut it short. There's a few reasons why I'm going to keep it here. Obviously, one is because I want to see if you guys want the financial takeover or not, because that'll affect how I do the rest of the transfer window, depending on what you guys vote for. So I'm going to have to wait, see what you guys vote for, and then do things tomorrow and make most of our transfers tomorrow, pretty much. The second reason is, I understand that maybe not everybody got an opportunity to give their transfer suggestions. I asked for it in the award show, in the last episode of Season 1. But I completely understand that maybe not everybody watched that or didn't watch it to the end and wasn't able to give their transfer suggestions. So, in the comment section below, go ahead. If you have anything you'd like to add to our transfer suggestions, leave them in the comment section below. Maybe some English talent, maybe young talent that I don't know about, or even somebody that would make sense that would join Leeds United. Don't pick the best players from the best clubs, or even mid-table clubs, their best players, because they would not join Leeds United. Maybe some players in the Championship, maybe some of the lesser Premier League teams that might be battling with us to get out of relegation, those kind of players. Or then again, if you have anything from abroad, go ahead. I mean, we could sign some good mid-table Spanish or Italian or French players. That would make a bit of sense. If you guys have anything that you'd like to add, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. I read over all of the comments in the last episode trying to find different suggestions, and there were some pretty good ones, so I'll get them on the transfer list as well. But that'll be it for today's episode, guys. There's two major things I need from you guys. I need you to vote in the top right corner and leave any other transfer suggestions you have in the comment section below. But that is it for today's episode, guys. I hope you did enjoy it, despite it being a short one and not having too much in it. I also hope that you guys had a good day. I'll see you guys in the next one very soon. Keep it real.